When do we stop comparing ourselves with others and get influenced by the external environment? So, the short answer, and the honest one, is that there is no fixed time when it magically stops. It slows down the moment your inner direction grows way stronger and louder than the external noise. But I want to be frank with you. Why comparison feels so unavoidable? Humans are wired to compare. That's how we have learned safety and belonging. So, expecting zero expectation feels unrealistic. And it is unrealistic. And having that expectation itself creates pain. So, what actually changes is your relationship with comparison. The real shift happens when these three things click. Number one, when your identity becomes self defined. Early on, identity is borrowed, like money, salary, relationship, and the things like who is ahead of me, right? Later, identity becomes chosen. This is what I'm building, and this is my pace. The moment you start measuring yourself against your own values rather than others' outcomes, that's when shift happens and comparison loses power. Number two, when you're busy building and not observing. When your days are filled with learning, creating, trial and error, you literally don't have enough bandwidth to entertain any other outside validation or feedback. You have a living proof of a project that you have been working on. This itself creates confidence. Number third, when you stop confusing visibility with success. Social media and surroundings show peak, they show highlight, and they show polished moments. What they don't show is anxiety, they don't show confusion, debt, identity crisis. You stop getting influenced when you truly understand that what I see is not the reality and what I see is not how they live. Now, the real answer to the question. You stop being controlled by comparison when you understand your timeline is your own and you trust it and you are in motion, like you are taking actions and not waiting and not planning. Planning is also waiting, by the way. And you have tasted self respect by keeping promises to yourself. Like, imagine a time when you promised that you're going to jog and then you jogged at that time. Didn't that make you feel better? That is what I'm talking about. And then you understand that these things were hypothetical and fake, like when you would reach a certain age, you would feel much more happy. At this point, I would like to hit you with the truth. If you had their life, you would also inherit their insecurities, their fears, and their problems. Most people do not want that. They only want part of someone's life. They do not want the whole thing. Like, everybody wants to be Spider-Man, but are you ready to sacrifice your parents and your MJ? Think about it. So, in the end, I would like to leave you with a few questions. Whenever comparison hits you, think, is it envy or is it inspiration? And also, what is the smallest action that you can take right now, today, that will lead you towards success? And then just act upon it. Because remember, my friend, action dissolves comparison way faster and way more effectively than motivation ever will. Well, you take care of yourself, and I'll meet you in the next one.